It is an ancient world. Forged in darkness and blood. The gods have forgotten us. The immortals fall from the heavens, and terrors roam the land. Thousands of years I have waited, deep in the bowels of the earth. Will soon be broken. Lose your hopes, mortals. Your doom is near.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome back to Notte Eterna. I am your humble game master, Kevin, and the moon is smiling upon us all as we begin yet another installment of our adventure of the Creeping Death. This is part 3, so go head on back after this is over. Get caught up. Don't leave us now. Stay here. Enjoy the love. Venture into the eternal night with us. Tonight we're going to play an adventure, D&D 5th edition, set in the exciting new world of Notte Eterna, made by Ali Rebelli and coming straight to us from Italy. This is the main hub for it here in the US, and if you're here, you're in the right place. We are going to be telling this story with some great friends. We've seen them the past couple of weeks. They're going to be continuing their characters in the third of a 4-part series, this first series of the Creeping Death. So let's take a moment. Let's go around. Let's reintroduce you all of these folks and say who they're playing. That way we can dive in properly. Let's start right over here. Andrew, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Glad to have you.
No one ever asks you how you're doing.
Well, thank you for doing that then. Please remind everybody who you are real quick, who you're playing especially.
Yeah, my name is Andrew. I am a human person, and I am playing Lee, who is a old war veteran, old army general, who kind of has a haunted past. And we'll see if we learn more about that later tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for returning. Next up on the list will be right below me, David. Welcome back, my friend. Good to see you again, as always.
Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Tonight I will be reprising my role as Malice. He is the bard of the Dance Macabre. And he's kind of got the accent going. I'm totally ripping off Laura Bailey. Oh, jeez. So I don't know why I went with that. It's just I played it in a home game, so it just kind of stuck. So. But otherwise, I'm here on Notte Eterna. Gosh, it's been a day. And when I'm not here, I'm with Murder Hobo Incorporated, and every once in a while run things with with Kevin the gang here. So anyway,
that's it. Everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Look forward to see what sort of cool macabre machinations that Malice is going to bring to us tonight. So thank you for returning, my friend.
Thank you.
And finally, Javante down in the bottom corner. Hello again, sir. Welcome back. It's always great to see you.
Howdy, and hi, everybody. My name is Javante. I play Anessa, the, I need to look up all of her stuff. The Karevi spiritualist warlock and now sorcerer. She's been a lot of fun to play. I'm super excited to get back into this. I'm a little lax on RP this week, so I'm super excited to get back into this. Really happy.
Excellent. Well, welcome back. So, this is everyone. We're going to be diving in proper. Let us dive back into the Night Eternal. And with part 3 of the Creeping Death, Descend the Ascension. Last time we found our intrepid heroes, 3 strangers brought together in the town of Mandulia's Rock. It is a town that is a port town that has a bit of an unsavory past, and as the 3 heroes have come back together tonight, they are doing so on the trail of a strange serial killer that is loose within the town. A killer who has claimed 9 victims. As they were investigating, one of their key witnesses, perhaps an information brokers, was murdered directly in front of our party in the cover of darkness. This has brought new questions onto the case of who exactly is killing these folks, dismembering them for some ulterior motive. They are working in close proximity to the High Procurator Alexei and his main guard, Zakara, who is the constable over this area. As they are, our party, as they are making their way through this investigation, they have most recently come to the rescue of a group of boys who were basically in some sort of slave labor in a glassworks here within the town. Liberating them from the evil Yanis, a sorcerer of sorts, they have left and are making their way towards familiar ground. We will open tonight again. The moon is still high within the sky, for here, in the land of Nier, the sun no longer rises. Instead, the hours are cut by the moon as it traverses across the sky. For our real-world purposes, this would be early afternoon, but for them, it is just after high moon. And our heroes, we will find, approach a area towards the back of an alleyway. They are led by Anessa, who is a tall, attractive young woman with flowing red hair, one of the Karevi, a race that is specific here to the land of Nier, who are oftentimes known for their strange, beguiling natures, but she is no exception. She has tricks up her sleeve, as do the 2 men who travel with her. Directly behind her, Lee, he is a old, grizzled war veteran, wearing a sword upon his hip, and he has a look of sadness yet knowledge that has been formed from battle. And finally, Malice, our dark blue-skinned tiefling who traipses along the back, listening to distant voices of the dead as they float on the wind of the night. As we approach, we will find the 3 of them will be brought to a back entrance near, as I mentioned, an alleyway. As the 3 of you approach, there is a shadow that cuts across the sky. It's a small, dark, black shape, and it doesn't take long for the 3 of you to note that it is a crow. As it moves silently through the night and perches itself up atop a lamppost nearby, it looks knowingly at you, Anessa, and you recognize the creature immediately, one of the familiars of one of your children. The crow looks at you. It almost seems to nod in knowledge and acceptance before it flies back up into the air and disappears towards the moon yet again. After a few seconds, the 3 of you continue, and then there is another creature that approaches, a black cat that emerges out of a nearby alleyway. It mews in a way that is not unlike a greeting. And Anessa, as you notice the cat as well, you then hear a child's voice. Anessa, you've come back. Everything is safe.
Good. Didn't I say I would? You know I don't lie to you all. We brought some guests and a few new arrivals.
I see that. There's quite a bit of you. And with that, there is a child who comes into view to both you, Malice, and you, Lee. It is a girl, and strangely enough, as she steps forward, then it seems to be her form splits in 2. No, wait, not in 2. A twin. The 2 of them step forward, they bow in unison, and they stand next to Anessa regarding the 2 of you and the nearly 36 boys who are behind you, recently rescued from Yanis' shop. Moon and Rose, your sentries here of your secret hideout, Anessa, look to you, and as they look to you, not the one that we've heard speak before, Rose, but now Moon, the second. The boys will be staying here too? Are they to be part of our family now?
Yes, until either they decide if they have a better place to go or their families choose to contact me.
Okay. Well, welcome. We'll make sure that you get within. And then she looks to both Lee and to Malice. Hello?
They're friends of mine.
Malice does a very formal and fancy bow to them both. Yeah.
Okay. They step off to the side and they seemingly disappear back into the shadows, taking up their sentry posts. Anessa, when you lead the group in, please tell us a little bit about how this entryway looks. What do we see as you all come into your headquarters, the Underground Raven?
As the shadows seem to part out through this alleyway, and what is initially seen is a simple wooden doorway and what looks like a kind of a dilapidated cottage. But for anyone that can recognize magic, as you're looking up at it, you can see it shift, almost mist-like move, and you see a rather tall structure, as if somebody had fused 2 or 3 cottages together on top of one another to create this thing. But it doesn't seem to be hodgepodge. It almost looks like, it was purposefully made this way. There is essences of magic that seem to snake up and along it, for those that can track that. It's a little gothic in nature. The home itself does have a few towering spires that jut out from the sides. The actual tile roofings are pitched just to keep what heat is still in the home. Many of the windows that are seen are also closed off so that no one can look in, only people can look out. And as she reaches the door, you see her just look at it up and down, give it a couple taps onto 2 sides of the wooden the frame, and then she grabs the handle and twists it, and the door, instead of pushing open naturally, seems to split like a seam and then opens inwardly.
Absolutely. As you all approach within, you find that underneath this area here, this main floor that you're coming upon does in fact look like the inside of a home. There are rooms and a hallway that is festooned with different decorations that seem to be an eclectic blend collected from perhaps different sections of the city. You will also see that as you walk down the hallway, there are a bevy of children that appear from doorways that suddenly open, not in alarm, but just in noticing the fact that you all are coming back. All of these children in turn will come out or wave or greet Anessa in some sort of greeting. You can tell that she is very welcome here. All of the children know her. All of them seem to have a manner of feeling safer as you all 3 walk down the hallway. And there is, all in all, it becomes countless. You're not sure how many children are down here. Anessa, of course, you know. These are the children that you've been rescuing and bringing together. But for you, Lee, and for you, Malice, it's unknown how many children are here. Easily as many as the boys that you just rescued. So things are going to get quite cramped indeed, it would seem. But Anessa, you will begin to lead them down towards a lower level, closer to where your headquarters, your room, your place that you would go to would be. And as you do so, there is a child who approaches. You of course recognize Amaya. You spoke with her earlier tonight. She had come by to mention that there was some activity that she had heard about. Your children here are very apprised of the things that go on in the town, so they are aware that you're already investigating a series of crimes, and they've been vigilant to make sure they've been safe. As Amaya approaches, everything goes well, I trust?
Everything's gone perfectly fine. You have a couple new brothers, gesturing back. See to it that they get to some decent rooms for the night. Anything that you found, dear Maya?
Well, I did some looking around and... Hello, she says, nodding to both Lee and Malice. It would seem that there's somebody who is looking about for you, a goblin of some sort. It would seem that his brother was killed in a bar fight earlier, and apparently he's looking for revenge.
All right, I'll have to deal with that. You would think they would have shorter memories.
You would think so, but apparently not this one. He's got a group, it says, are 5 strong, and they're sneaking about trying to find you, trying to find the 3 of you. The people they're looking for match your descriptions, and, well, she motions to you, Malice. You kind of stand out, so there's that.
Indeed I do. Indeed I do.
Group of 5, including that goblin. All right, well, some more excitement for the investigation doesn't hurt anything. Amaya, have you eaten yet?
Not yet this time of the night, but I can prepare some food if you're hungry.
I am starving. I think me and my companions could do with some decent food. If you don't mind, could you have it taken just toward my study?
Yeah, of course, I don't mind at all. Yes. You know the way. I will bring you all something shortly, and get something for myself too.
Of course.
And she skips out of the way, and as she does, she says, "Right this way, boys. Let's make sure you find a place here." And all the boys that have kind of been matriculating out of a group, some of them stayed together, but some of them have kind of spread off and are trying to already find a place to stay here. The eldest of these boys, Tyrell, who was Yanis's main, shall I say, servant, he nods. Thanks again for all the good that you did tonight. I really appreciate it, and it's just thank you. My brothers and I, well, we owe you, and we'll earn our keep around here.
She just smiles. Nobody earns anything here. Welcome home for as long as you need it.
He nods and he turns and he helps one of the smaller boys. He kind of leads him away with him, leaving the 3 of you alone in the study. As you all look around the study, you will find that it is a cozy location. What are 3 things of note that we should know about this study, Vanessa?
Think of note number 1. There is no organization to absolutely anything in this study. There are piles and piles of books and paperwork that's just everywhere. Secondly, there is a massive desk that's just like pushed up against the wall that also has these piles of paperwork on it. But the desk is the nicest thing in this room. It's the one thing that is not like doesn't have dust covering it. It seems to be meticulously cared for. There's several drawers that are both closed and don't look like they've ever been opened. And as a bit of finality to it, there is a small, almost adventure-style sleeping bag that's just been propped to the side. That seems to be well used, so it seems like she falls asleep down here quite a bit. But to add to that, on the like scattered around the sleeping bag, there also are a few notes that seem much more well read, and these seem to have been written on. So these seem to be less known notes and more so journals that have been reread over and over.
Yes. So yeah, it has a very studious yet eclectic blend, as we mentioned before. And you two seem and feel welcome in here. It feels almost like a home to the 2 of you as well, even though it's the first time you've been in here. It just has a certain air about it. It could almost be mistaken for magical, but it's not. It's that connection that you have when a place truly is a home, when the love and the guidance within it has formed it into a space that is somewhat supernatural. And as you all 3 are here, you will take some time. You have all the time you need to go through, reflect upon what has happened this evening. Again, there has been a recent battle. There has been some revelations. And most recently, there has been a bit of a concern as there has been a murder spaces away from you, with you seemingly unable to be aware or able to stop whatever has caused it. In this moment, Malice, there is a tingling along the back of your neck, almost as if there was a presence in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear familiar voices singing in your ear. You're not looking in the right places.
And Malice lets that chill that he feels at the back of his neck. I mean, as disturbing as it is, he finds it kind of stimulating too, because it piques his curiosity at most, especially when the voices speak to him. And he whistles the tune back.
You join into the chorus of the spirits that you hear from time to time with the Dance Macabre. And in this moment, Anessa, you hear them too in a strange, familial way as well. Although the two of you are not aware that you are doing this, the both of you have been touched by the spirit realm, by death. There has been a certain connection that has been formed unbeknownst to the two of you in your time together. And in that moment, there is further connection in the room. Lee, your thoughts specifically bring you back a little bit to your past and a little bit about how some of the calm and the control that you used to have when you served have been gone for some time. What exactly is going through your head during all this? There's been a lot of different developments this evening.
Yeah, so Lee would probably retire to his room, if there is a room for him, just to get some space. And he's feeling
You would have to look upstairs, but there would definitely be a room.
So he goes upstairs just to kind of take some space away from everything that's been happening. He's feeling frustrated and angry almost with himself. He's been feeling like reckless and charging into fights, not like the calm war general that he used to be. He's getting frustrated with the way that he's charging into fights without thinking. And he starts to think back to when he was a war general. And he's contemplating the choices he's making now.
Yes, you've come a long way since that time, since duty would cause and create you to have opportunities to perhaps use the skills that you've learned, the thrill of battle, the swashbuckling style that you developed through necessity and through training, rigorous and arduous training, has brought you to today. You wonder if perhaps things might have been different if you had been one of those who had died on the battlefields, the men that you served with, the men that you probably commanded. And you think of another face, a shadowy figure that, in opposition to you, now seems to sit on a throne of respect here within Mandulia's Rock. Your thoughts get dark for a moment, and as you are about to maybe give speech to this dark thought, there is a slight rapping on the door.
I go to the door.
When you open it, you find young Amaya. She is, as I mentioned, she's a preteen type age girl. She has kind of longer hair, blonde. She has a small little tray that on it is a plate with some food and a small goblet of sorts that probably has either wine or some sort of water or something in it. I have brought you your supper, sir.
Thank you, young one.
Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I have seen a ghost. And it's scary. But it's not something that you have to be afraid of.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean, she looks down the hallway for you. You really saw a ghost? In here?
Yeah. in here. And he points to his heart.
Oh. Did somebody die? Somebody you cared
Yeah.
about?
Lee thinks about it, and he's not just going to emotionally unload on this preteen girl.
Sure.
And he goes, yeah, a lot of my friends have died. And I miss them. I don't want any more of my friends to die.
Yeah. Well, you'll see them again. I mean,
Thank you.
everybody sees who they love eventually again, right?
Yeah, you are right.
Well, anyway, you better eat that. It's going to get cold, and it doesn't taste very good when it's cold. I'll be honest, it really kind of tastes really bad when it's cold, so you want to eat it.
Well, thank you. I will. He shuts the door, and he sets the food on an end table, and he sits on the bed. Doesn't eat his food.
Okay. In another part of the complex here, Malice, what do you find yourself doing?
Hearing the voices again, the chorus, he thinks back on his life. He's told everybody that, his family is a family of merchants and all that, but in reality, what they were actual ceremonialists. They provided services for the dead and kind of ran a small, I want to say, shrine or temple. I guess it would be similar to what you would call a funeral home in real life. And Malice grew up there. Of course, always being among the tombs and those interned there. He was part of the ceremonies, meaning that he provided the music for the ceremonies that his parents would perform for families and things like that. And they had a very, war is good for business, obviously, when you deal with, death. And they had a pretty exclusive client list with certain families and stuff like that, with taking care and interning families. So, there were always rumors that, Malice's families were actually grave robbers and things like that, and that was completely untrue. But when he was young and he was studying music, that's when the voices actually really started. And again, it was just like music and choruses in his mind, that he can hear, but if he focused, he can almost see. He can almost see into that spiritual realm and see the spirits around him. So, and of course, when he played, they actually danced. And he didn't find it alarming or anything like that. He found it very uplifting and, I want to say, exciting. And that's what started him on his path to studying more of how music and ceremony can affect the dead.
Absolutely.
And that's what Malice is thinking about, because he sees the children, and, he kind of feels for them, because he had such a small but, supportive family, He was the oddball. It's not like there were a family of tieflings. There were rumors that, a tiefling would turn up in his family every once in a while, depending on the generation, and he just happens to be the one now. But, his parents most decidedly are human. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Interesting.
Yep.
So, yes, your communion with these spirits, with this death, that you find to be a song on the wind rather than a heavy dirge. It has brought you to where you are today, and it is in this moment as you are walking around, taking stock of what's going on, watching children go back to bed, watching the teenage and preteen boys finding a place here, seeing the other kids that you have met that are walking around and just kind of going about their business. Their steps almost have a funereal march order that only you can hear. There is a strange staccato that seems to resonate through the walls in here that tells you one thing, and that is that death comes for everyone. It's only a matter of whether or not you decide to take a partner and join that dance, rather than run from it like most people do.
He ruminates on that and tries to focus more on, as you described it, the staccato, the cadence, tempo, also, and he starts, his head kind of turns to the side because he thinks he can see the spirits that are reaching out, like you said. It's just only a matter of time whether or not you want to take a partner. So it's almost like he's looking at the gallery, So
Interesting.
yeah.
And in your mind's eye, you hear a distant, discordant song that 8 different voices seem to be singing in unison. And they start to draw you away into reverie as you think on this. And eventually, you will retire, perhaps, or maybe take up the dance. Time will tell. Anessa, in your quarters, since you have been left alone by the 2 gentlemen, you have been sitting with your dinner, perhaps eating it. What else do you do as the day comes to a close and you get ready to rest for the evening and restore yourself?
There's this moment where when she looks around and realizes she has been left to her own devices, she's going to head to the sleeping bag and she's going to reach inside of it and she's going to remove 2 broken manacles and set them onto the desk and take some of the notes that she has and also just kind of looking at each of them, ruminating on how she became a spiritualist warlock, because it was not by her choice. Just sort of thinking about the entire situation that she has kind of thrust herself into. You see her lift one of the manacles and just balance it on the table, spins it.
Malice looks at her quixotically and is just like, something you want to tell us about these manacles in this? It's just like,
Let it thud against the table again. This entire city is full of dark, twisted secrets. I just find it hilarious that it's only because certain people get targeted, or that it becomes so overt that the public ends up catching word of it. Then we investigate things. Lifts the manacle again, spins it. Thunk. I don't know. Given the choice of what I would have done with my life had I had any options of doing anything, I don't know. Being a private investigator was never in my mindset.
Malice reaches out his hand towards the manacle and he's just like, may I? He's asking if he could investigate the manacle, actually take a look at it.
Feel free.
Okay.
When he takes the manacle, Anessa, you get a chill that runs up your spine and there's a single bead of cold sweat that drips down your temple.
She kind of twists her head, twists her neck a little bit.
Malice holds up the manacle, and he's kind of holding it up to the light, twisting it. I mean, it looks like a mundane manacle, doesn't it?
Yes, it's an eye. It's been broken up, but it's a set of iron manacles.
Right. He's just wondering if there was any music as well as magic infused in with them. So he starts speaking, but the rhythm in which he's speaking is almost sing-songy, and it's an infernal, which is weird because not many people have ever heard infernal sung before. To everybody else, it comes across like Tibetan throat singing or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, is there anything that he's noticing about the manacle?
Yes, Anessa, is there anything special about the manacle that we should know? Is it just mundane, or does it hold dark secrets that perhaps tie to your past?
On the manacle itself, there seems to be a series of intricate arcanic runes that have been carved on the inside of it, which, if you're expecting that and you look over towards her wrists, she has those same markings almost pressed into her skin. The manacles themselves give off an air of dark magic, which they give off the same feeling of magic as she does when she casts Eldritch Blast. Outside of they seem to be manacles.
Malice then looks at Anessa and says, "Who was it that shackled you?"
Some cult. Never really got their name, which was the irritating part, hence the gestures to the papers. Finding out. They wanted to see if they could communicate with the long-lost spirits that remembered the sun. Figure out how to bring it back. Didn't quite work, and instead, here I am.
Did this cult seem to target Korevi, or...?
I happen to be walking along the streets.
Okay. Because I always wondered if
safe for young ones.
Right. I always wondered whether or not the general populace always blamed the Karevi for the cataclysm that befell.
She shrugs. They do. We're not going to pretend like the general populace hasn't blamed those that don't look or act exactly like them for any of mischief. Gestures to Malice.
You see a blue devil walking down the street, you're definitely gonna catch an eye or two. So.
See her eyes go from their regular color to that full black again. Easy to stand out.
Oh yeah.
Shifts back into now vibrant green.
Interesting. Both of you then feel that there is another presence in the room, a spirit of sorts, not malevolent, not evil, not on the attack, just here with you. It seems to stand in the middle of the room between the two of you, and just seems to observe a third member of the conversation that has simply arrived, and it stands there. Can I have each of you please roll either an insight or a perception test?
Alrighty.
And how we're going to do this is I would like for you each to tell me your numbers, because what you roll will be a difficulty class roll against the other one's target number, which will be 10, plus their wisdom modifier.
Okay.
I want to see if you guys notice something about each other in this moment.
Okay, the roll of the dice with the perception check is an 11.
Okay.
Insight roll is a 13.
Okay. Anessa, what is your score? 10 plus your wisdom modifier.
My wisdom score, you said?
Yeah, 10 plus your wisdom modifier. Yep.
That would be 14.
14. Okay. And what is your score? 10 plus your charisma modifier.
Charisma modifier?
I'm sorry, wisdom modifier. Excuse me.
Wisdom modifier. I was about to say charisma. Well, hey, I'm there, man. No, with wisdom, it is 3, so that would be 13.
Okay. So, in this moment, Anessa, as you see the figure, you can see your companion here across the way from you glancing at it as well. You can tell in this moment that you are both seeing this figure.
She's just going to lift the other manacle, spin it, but she's not taking her eyes off the figure. Do I get a name, or are we playing the silent game today? Fuck.
There's no words. The figure just the shifting in the air. It's not a fully developed person. It's just a strange feeling that you can feel there's a spirit here with you. It just regards you both and doesn't move, doesn't have words, doesn't speak, doesn't make its presence known, doesn't tell you anything about what its name might be, just simply exists.
Malice turns from this apparition, I guess, that he's perceiving, to Anessa. You know, and Malice always tries to make light of a situation. He's just like, he looks at Anessa and is just like, so are we gonna talk about the elephant in the room or what? You know, he turns around to the spirit itself. He didn't mean it as an insult. He meant that, you know, talk about the obvious in the room. So
She like kind of gestures to the thing to talk. She's like,
And with the revelation that the two of you are together noticing this figure, it drifts past the two of you, straight through the center of the room, and goes through the door.
Malice turns to Nessa and is just like, I believe we should follow.
no, I agree. She gets up and starts to walk after where it went.
Okay. The two of you stand, and as you get to the door, and which one of you opens the door, out of curiosity?
Malice, he's a gentleman. He'll open it for the lady.
Okay.
No chauvinism, but just, you know, that he's been trained properly. Always open a door for your guests, or, you know.
Absolutely, yeah, that's completely fine. As you get over to the door and you take a hold of the handle and you open it, you know, you move out into the hallway. I'm sorry, you open so that Anessa can move out into the hallway, into the sound of the silence outside, because the rest of the headquarters here is asleep at this point, as it is far past when the moon would have set. And as you open the door, Anessa, you begin to step out. And as you begin to step out, what is your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 12.
12. And as you step out through the door, you do not notice when suddenly there is something, a sharp pain in your chest, just below your sternum. And as you look down, you see a crossbow bolt sticking out the front of you. And it is then that you finally realize that you are not alone here in the hall. You look up to see that there is, in fact, a goblin who has creeped out of the dark and is beginning to reload his crossbow bolt. Malice, but just behind her, you can see that there is this same goblin who is also recoiling and getting ready to fire off another shot. And in this moment, the two of you begin to take action, but elsewhere, on a battlefield much different than the psyche of the mind, there was a lone figure, younger, a little bit more hearty, without his beard and his long hair. Helios Cuthbert makes his way across the battlefield, his sword in hand. In this moment, Andrew, tell us exactly what is Lee doing in this time in the past as he dreams alone in his room.
So Lee is having a dream of 34 years ago, back when he wore a sturdy breastplate, an open-fronted helm, and iron-reinforced boots. Facing down an army in front of him and his men. The spearmen ahead of him wavered as he and his men roared from the smoke and flame of a battlefield. Though some of his men were overwhelmed by the smoke and the heat, his most trusted, his closest, stayed with him, and they would crash into the enemy, pressing the enemy back against the main army. A strategy called Hammer and Anvil, one of his favorites, the type that didn't allow the enemy to get away and would crash into the main army ranks. He was to be the hammer, and the main army was to be the anvil. And as Lee burst through the smoky air, he found a few lines of spearmen trying to form ranks as fast as possible. But a few of the spearmen dropped their weapons and ran as General Helios started to intimidate. He hit the spearmen like a boulder rolling through groves of saplings and bushes. You know, charging an enemy was a lot about momentum. As he rolled through, his sword tossing blood into the air. And the spearmen didn't fight back. They thrust their spears frantically, less trying to kill him and his men, more trying to just push the madman away and his group of elite warriors. And eventually their ranks collapsed as more and more of the enemy army turned their backs towards Helios and his men. And as they broke through the line, the real slaughter began. He pushed forward with his men, keeping the momentum, shearing through ranks, cutting through people, until he reached the back of the enemy army, then breathed deeply and wiped ash and sweat from his face. But as he came through the enemy line and the enemy army, he was shocked to see that the main army wasn't there. Lee and his team were the hammer, but there was no anvil. He looked back to see his men completely surrounded by the enemy army, spears rising and falling, completely slaughtering all of his close friends. As he charged back in, trying to save as many people as he could, eventually he fell to. Hours pass and he wakes up in the mud and blood of his close friends. And there he gets up feeling betrayed by his commanders, betrayed by his liege lord, betrayed by the people that were supposed to support him. He leaves General Helios there to die and becomes Lee, just Lee, a wandering vagabond trying to find his way.
Absolutely. And as Lee died that day, as Helios died that day and Lee was born anew, as he walked off of the battlefield, there was a dark presence that walked with him, though he did not know it then. He carries that dark presence even now. And in this moment, that dark presence has come for him again. In your dreams, as you approach off the battlefield, you see a dark specter, a form step forward, a rival general who you knew in the war was instrumental in defeating your men. He removes his bloody helmet, and you see, now in his regalia of when you met him yesterday, Procurator Alexei is tall, as old as he is now. Lee, you look down to find yourself as old as you are now. The years have passed, but the man is the same. As he steps forward, his sword ready to cut you down. Make a perception check for me at disadvantage.
It's a 9.
9. You suddenly feel his sword bite into your chest, deep, painful, sharp, a hot, ringing cold that sifts through you and cleaves you in a way that is not like a mortal forged blade. The pain is so intense that it rips you out of the dream and thrusts you back into the nightmare that is your reality as you carry this darkness with you. And above you, there is a figure in the night, in the dark of your room, with their short sword plunged into your chest. A goblin, you would swear. You're going to take 5 points of piercing damage. Please make a Constitution saving throw. And I should also mention that, Anessa, you took 5 points of piercing damage, and please make a Constitution saving throw.
Did we take a long rest before this happened, by the way?
You did.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
Do that first.
I'm very hurt.
Yes, you guys got the, you guys
was
got the
very
benefit
hurt.
of the rest. Yes, you guys got the benefit of the night's rest. Even though you are under attack in the night, you still have the benefit.
And then you said a con save.
Mm-hmm.
Has a dirty 20.
Okay, very good. I'm sorry, Lee, what did you get for your save?
6.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Lee, please roll a d6 for me. I'm sorry, d4 for me.
3.
3. Okay. Because of the nature of the poison that now sifts through you, you will be considered poisoned for the next 3 rounds. As everybody, please roll initiative for me.
Oh!
In this moment, let us bring up our cool, awesome, trusty battle map, which is going to help us tell the tale as well. We can go ahead and we can move around where exactly you all are. You will find on this map that there are children about, but they don't need to be there any longer. They are all in their beds at this point, so I can actually move some of them. You should be able to control your figures, put them where you would like to have them. I'll just put the kids out of here, over here, so they're out of the way. Yes, the 3 of you are here, but that's not currently where you are, so you can feel free to move yourselves about. There, I'll wait until Anessa specifically, you place yourself so that we are aware of where this goblin will be in front of you before we thrill the battle proper.
I'm trying to figure out where that's where all the gobos are.
Like I said, they're gonna move. They're there just so that they're there. Once they're there, I'll put them where they actually are.
It's probably like here.
Okay. Very good. Move this child here. So then we'll say, for the sake of argument, that this would be where you are, Malice. So this goblin is here. And you don't know. We'll put Lee over here. Goblin with him is here. And then the other ones are here. And here. Okay. Alrighty, so, Anessa, what is your initiative score?
My initiative was a 2.
A 2, that's what you got last time. Interesting.
Yeah.
Lee, what is your initiative?
I got a 10.
10. Malice, what is your initiative?
16.
Okay. And these goblins will go on a... Okay. So, for the sake of argument, I will say that that was the surprise round. So, the goblins will take their turn. The goblin who is coming at you, Anessa, he steps forward, and as he sees you, he goes, "Oh, good. Just the bitch I wanted to see. You killed my brother, you Karevi bitch. And now you're gonna die too." And he will run towards you. That crossbow that he has in his hand, you notice as he runs towards you, he clicks something in the handle of it, and a bayonet out of the front of it, and he swipes it up towards you. Oh boy, 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. You are going to take minimum damage of 3 as he slices up into you with it. It hits maybe your forearm. There is part of your shirt that gets sliced open. A fresh trickle of blood comes down and splatters across the floor, and you see him just smile. He is extremely pleased with this moment. In the room where you are, Lee, this goblin who is trying to pretty much kill you in your sleep, he brings back that short sword, he rips it out of your chest, and he brings it down again to stab once more. He is going to have advantage because you are prone, because you haven't gotten up yet. 20. Oh, okay. That is going to be a 13, which will miss you, even though you're not armored right now. So, yeah, he brings it down. You manage to roll out of the way, and he stabs it down into the mattress of the bed. Feathers fly out from the impact of it. And with that, there are the other goblins in the way. One of them is going to come in behind you over here, Anessa. You'll see as it runs forward. There is a dagger that appears, and it swipes it at you with a 19.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to take 5 points of damage.
Ugh.
As you feel a dagger bite into your back. The fourth and final goblin is just loping about over here, biding its time, waiting for something to happen here in a moment. I would say... just for the sake of argument, Anessa, please make a... Actually, we'll just do this way. What is your passive perception again? 12, I believe you said it was?
Is a 12.
12. So you do not see that goblin because of the fact that you're being attacked by 2 other ones. You don't really notice that other goblin semi-hiding over there in the dark. It will then be time for the party to do some fun stuff. So, Malice, you are well aware that you guys are under attack. You could tell that whatever this goblin is trying to do seems to be it's focusing on Anessa. You heard what he yelled at her, so you know you are dealing with the brother of the goblin that you guys killed.
There's always a brother from another mother or some crap like that with these little green guys. Okay, so just let me know when it's my turn.
Right now, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Malice uses his movement and rushes up and grabs Anessa, and within 2 coordinate plucks of the his loot, which he just kind of slung on his back, so he just hits it. It's like ding ding, and he rushes up and grabs Anessa and casts invisibility, since he's holding her, so hopefully that encompasses the 2 of them.
I love that. What? So when you cast invisibility, it's not self only? It's a 10-foot area of yourself and allies that you can affect.
I think so. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So as you feel, and in that moment, as he comes up and he grabs a hold of you to cast the spell, there is a brief moment, Anessa, that you panic for a second, thinking that there's a third one on you, grabbing you. But you could tell by the way that the fingers close on your arm, it's gentle, it's friendly, it's definitely not an enemy. As it closes, you both, the shadows warp around you, as there is, a weird harp almost goes off somewhere in the night here, and you are both turned invisible, so that's awesome. This is regular invisibility, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
Just so we know. Excellent. With that, it is going to be Lee. You're in the bedroom. You're over here, basically. Let me get the pointer. You're over here.
So if I'm asleep, I assume
Well, you're awake now. You are awake now.
I was sleeping, so
Yes.
I wouldn't have my sword on me. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have anything. I'd be just in bed, right?
Yes, I would say that your sword, however, is right next to the bed. I mean, you're a warrior who has survived by that, so I wouldn't say it's like over against the wall on the other side of the room or anything like that. You definitely have it right within hands reach. I would say it's basically because you're a skilled warrior. I'll say you can grab it as part of your move action if you want.
Sure, yeah. I will get out of bed, jump out of bed, grab my sword, and try to fight this goblin.
Okay. Because you are currently poisoned by the goblin's short sword, you are going to have disadvantage on all of your attack rolls and ability saves for 3 rounds. So this is round 1. So just so we are aware of that, we will go ahead and put a little ring on you here. So whoops, wrong button. So that we will remember that. Okay. Oh, thank you, producer Miko, off screen for doing that for me. Appreciate it.
That's
why I pay him the big bucks. No. So, yeah. So you can attack him if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got 11.
Okay. You bring up the sword at a practice flourish, and as it swipes across the goblin, he rips the short sword up out of the bed, and ka-ching, he deflects your blade aside. He twirls it in his hand so that the blade is against the back part of his forearm in that Florentine type grip, and he holds it behind him. He starts dancing around, doing like little jerks and movements like he's trying to feint and trying to lower your guard a little bit. Anessa, in the hallway, surrounded by enemies and invisible, what would you like to do? Now, I would say, real quick, before we get anything crazy, please make a knowledge arcana check. That's a first level spell, correct, David? I'm sorry, second level spell?
Second level, yes. Correct.
So, Anessa,
what a waste
we'll
of a
have
nat
DC
20.
Okay, well, there we go. It's more than enough. I would say the DC was going to be 8 plus the spell level to know what it is. So a natural 20 is more than enough. You know that you are invisible. You know that typically this spell, if you attack or cast a spell or anything hostile, you will become visible. And you would also know with such a high roll that you are going to need to stay in the proximity of Malice. You would know is the one who casted it. You would have to stay in the proximity of him or it will stop working. So that was probably your saving grace right now is that. So you are aware of that information. So what would you like to do?
Which one is the one that shot me?
The one who shot you is this one directly in front of you, who now is attacking you. He's at that bayonet at the end of his crossbow.
I want to see if I can get behind him without like alerting him since I'm invisible.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, real quick, with the invisibility, Malice, do you have to remain contact with her, or is she just within a certain range? She's going to stay invisible.
Just within a certain range, so she should be
30
good.
feet,
Yes.
I believe. Okay. Yeah. So you pull out of Malice's grip. Go ahead and make a stealth test for me, unless you'd rather do something a little bit more flourishy. You can make an acrobatics test to jump and flip over him as opposed to sneaking around the side with him.
I'm just gonna do a stealth. I'm just gonna do a stealth test because
Okay.
honestly, it's the same score either way.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, so go ahead, please make a stealth test for us.
That's the highs and lows. That's a 1.
That's a 1, a natural 1.
Oh my god, I do.
Oh yes, you do get advantage for being invisible. Yes, that's right.
Roll again. What the fuck? That's a 20.
Hey, that's what you need.
The highs and lows.
That is it. That is it. All right, so yeah, you start to move forward and you begin to slip a little bit on part of your blood that's on the ground, but you move around it and you get around the side. You slip along the wall and you see the goblin. He's looking, where'd she go? And he's looking around for you, seemingly not knowing where you are. And then as you move, that's your movement. Do you want to continue to move, or are you doing something different?
No, as soon as I've gone behind him, I appreciate the invisibility. He shot me with a crossbow bolt and then stabbed me. I'm going to cast Chaos Bolt at first level at him.
Okay.
Don't fuck me, dice. What did I just say? That's a 7. Oh my god, again!
Miko off screen, you beat me too. I was just going to say, I believe you have an advantage on the attack roll for that.
14?
14 will hit this guy exactly. So yes. You because another circumstance going on. Yeah, so you hit him.
All right. All right. I'm gonna roll the damage real quick, and then I'll figure out what the damage is, which is the 2d8 plus d6. Holy shit!
So much damage.
So that is going to be. I have to roll the other die to figure out what damage it is. That's my d8. So it's going to be lightning damage.
Nice,
So
nice.
15 lightning damage.
Okay. Yes, you blast this guy right in the back, and he screams in pain as the lightning shivers through him, arcs down through his back, through his front, streaks down into the floor, and dissipates across the stone of the floor. As it dissipates, there is a little bit of your hair that stands up for a moment, and as you become visible, the lightning crackles across your eyes. You almost look like a warrior goddess made of lightning and steam as you rematerialize. And yes, in that moment, it is then going to be their turn. So now that he knows that you're there, because you just
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's more.
I'm at a realization.
But wait, there's more.
As
Okay.
that cast, she's going to, because she's probably come out of invisible from this.
Yeah, you're
She's
visible now. Yep.
Yep. She still has some of this lightning in her hand,
Mhm.
and you see it start to lift, coil up, and forms into a skull. And she's just going to flick it towards him. And I'm going to use the Vessel of Souls.
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Beep. So an extra 2 damage to that.
Okay,
Extra
I
2
love
force
that.
damage to that.
Yes, and as the skull made out of crackling lightning streaks out of your hand, it slams into him, and as it does, it almost has a scream that pierces through your ears. It cuts through the dance macabre in the periphery. Always, Malice. This scream that is just too sharp to be in the right pitch for the song, but it's still part of the song nonetheless. Awesome. You are done with your turn?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. All right, great. So then the goblins then, that one who, you are just lighting him up. He is now, again, because he now realizes where you are, he takes that crossbow with the bayonet type blade on the front. He swings it back behind him as he turns to follow it. Okay. He is going to... Oh boy, he's going to miss you. Because even with his advantage for his reckless attack right now, he is going to miss you with a 12. So he swings it up. He screams as he swings it towards you, but the aim is just too far off. Maybe he's still shaking from the lightning, who knows. But the one across the way, the one who was coming up to aid him, the one who stabbed you with the dagger, that one will actually turn and continue to run and will move up. Now, because they are small creatures being goblins, they can both fit in the hallway here next to each other, even though this is a 5-foot hallway. So they're going to attack. He's going to attack, and because of an ability that they have, he's going to roll with advantage too, because they have a teamwork benefit. So he is actually going to hit you with a 19.
Ow.
And with the dagger damage, you are going to take 4 points of piercing damage as he stabs right into your thigh, right above your knee. He stabs it in, and then he puts his other hand, he starts pushing on the blade to drive it home all the way up to the hilt in your thigh. And then the goblin who is in the room with Lee is going to, again, he's fainting, he's jutting back and forth. He is going to jump up in the air and put his front hand out, and then he's going to try to bring the second hand up. He's basically going to try to feint. Please make an insight check for me, as opposed to his deception skill. I'm rolling real quick here. The DC you'll have to beat is a 19.
It's at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm not beating that.
It's at disadvantage because you are still poisoned, yes.
13.
13. Your vision is just blurred slightly. You're feeling lightheaded because the poison, you can tell, is coursing through you. Your vision's just not good enough in this moment, and it's not that you fall for the feint so much as you just don't react fast enough. And the blade comes forward, and he swipes across, almost like he's trying to blind you. He cuts across your face. The attack roll I should do. Let's see if he does hit you. I'm sorry, it's going to be, that's going to be a dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits.
You guys are rolling pretty good tonight. Okay. The damage for the short sword is going to be 5 points of slashing damage. As he slices, it cuts just below your eye, across the bridge of your nose, and over your other eye. The way the angle is, it just happens to miss carving out one of your eyes, but you do have a deep gouge across the front. Because you are currently poisoned, you don't need to make another save. However, please roll a 1d4.
It's a 4.
You're going to take 4 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
And
Damn.
that's only for this round, though, so that doesn't happen again, luckily. But yeah, these guys got some gross stuff that we can find in the Notte Eterna campaign setting. Very good. And then the final one, who was over here in the hallway behind you, Nessa, the one that you did not notice before, she gestures and gesticulates with her hands, and as she does, there is almost like a cat's cradle of energy that appears between her fingers. She arcs it out, and there's like a sound, and then she snaps it and throws it in your direction. Please make a dexterity saving throw.
Can I do a reaction, Kevin, at this point while you're doing that?
You know what? You did not use your bonus action during your turn. What type of reaction are you trying to do?
I am going to cast Silvery Barb, so I'm going to
yes.
distract her, give her
Okay.
disadvantage and advantage to Anessa.
Okay. All right then. I love that.
Well, with that, I like.
So you got to use the lower roll of the d20.
So with advantage, I have a 14 on my deck save.
Okay. Let me double check. 14, I believe, does make it. Yep. So you pass. So what happens is that energy, the web spell that she cast, it flicks out it on the wall, and there's this weird goo that is like splattered across the wall and is stuck there. Luckily, you were not caught in it. So that's what that does. And then that is it for them. So now we are back to Malice.
Yes. Okay, so that was my reaction. It didn't count as my action, correct?
That's right. And now because it is your turn, you actually have that reaction back because now it's a new round for you.
Okay. The one that was doing the cat's cradle and all that,
Yeah.
since I've got its undivided attention at this point, I have Anessa's blood still on my hands and all that. And using that as a component, you just see it kind of materialize from Malice's fingers, and it swirls up, and it looks like, it takes the form of a succubus and all that, and you just see it like blowing a kiss to the ones with the cat's cradle, and he casts Bane on
Ooh.
that goblin.
Nice. So then you're also going to become visible in this moment then, and that's
Yes.
why we see this seductress here, this succubus demon that releases the spell. And what'd you get on that?
Let's see, for Bane.
I'm sorry, Bane. There's nothing you roll. That's just that.
Right.
They have to make a save. Is what that
Yeah,
is, right?
I have to make a charisma save.
Sorry, that was my mistake. I was thinking of something different. Okay, charisma saving throw got a 6, so gonna fail.
Mhm.
Yes, so the Bane, it hits this this creature, washes over the features, and yes, they're gonna take a minus 1d4 to all their rolls, correct?
Correct.
Alrighty. Good to know.
For up to a minute.
And you had said, oh no, that was the reaction, never mind. Okay, cool. Is that it? Are you moving?
Yeah, I'm going to move into the hallway right here and kind of square off
Okay.
between the two that are attacking Anessa.
Definitely. Yeah, you take stock of what's going on, you see this, and yeah, you're ready to back her up. Lee, in the room, fighting the goblin. This is going to be round 3, if my notes are correct. So this is the final round that you are poisoned. So you have disadvantage still. But what do
So
you do?
Lee touches his face and looks at the blood, and he growls as he feels the searing pain of the the heat of the slash across his chest and the coolness of the blood trickling down his torso, he kind of glances over at his haversack, his bag of holding that he has been carrying around with him in the corner of the room. And he pushes the thought from his mind, and then he takes another swing at this goblin.
Yes, the items within call to you, and you want to have them, but you know you don't have the time right now. So yes, you attack, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
It's a natural 20.
With the disadvantage?
Oh no!
So sorry. So sorry.
With the disadvantage.
Man.
You just rolled 2 natural 20s?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
man.
amazing.
That is
Oh my
awesome.
God.
That is amazing. I must say, here in the land of Nier, the moon is smiling upon you, my friend. That was amazing.
Oh my God.
Go ahead and roll that critical hit then, my friend.
Oh, that's 2 8s, 19.
Okay. Yes, and you know you need to get to the bag and what is within. It's important, and that is what you're going to need to get through this. So you take the sword, and with just a single deft flick, you stab and ram it all the way through into the goblin's sternum until there's a sickening pop as your hilt hits it, and you twist and rip it free. You look like you want to add to that. Are you? Did you?
No.
Oh,
Nope, that's great.
Just enjoy the moment. And he falls away, and as he falls away, your gaze fixes upon the haversack once more. You wonder if you have time, but who knows? Perhaps the others are in danger as well.
Yeah, I'd like to run out of the room, and then if I can dash, bonus action dash. No, I can't do that.
You would, yeah, because you're a rogue. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you can. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you go running out of the room. So yeah, you get to like here. You get down to the end of the hall, and as you do, you can see your allies are in pitched battle with some other goblins, so yes, your instincts were correct. And as you get to this point in the hallway, you are going to see Anessa make her move. So Anessa, it is your turn. What do you do?
I'm going to how do I want to? No, we're gonna do it this way. I'm going to direct my hands together, and I'm going to charge up and do an Eldritch Blast at the same gobbo that I hit with Chaos Bolt.
Okay. You're gonna hit the brother.
Die. It's a 19.
19 will do it.
Die. That's a 9, and I'm also going to add in the where'd you go? The Vessel of Souls,
Yes.
because he didn't die yet. So an extra 4 to that.
Ooh. Okay. Your Eldritch Blast streaks out and slams into Grog's chest, and it burns away his clothing, his skin. You see the bone beneath as the arcane energy just continues to pulse out of you. And as it buffets him, slams him down, he slams into the floor, and part of him goos and spreads out. The goblin who was next to him looks down, and then he looks up, and right as he's about to move in to do something to you, Lee, you hear it first. But soon, the discordant melody that destroys the dance macabre, but also brings in new instruments, you notice, Malice, screaming from above. The voices of children like a choir singing in the dark of the night. They scream in horror, in fear, and in pain. In this moment, Malice, although you cannot see them, you feel the presence of the undead as they move their way through this underground subterranean home and make their way lower down towards you. One of them, you can tell, in this weird connection that you have with the dance macabre, one of them is familiar. One of them bears something that was lost that the three of you have been in search of. And with that, the goblins that remain, the one who is directly up in front of your face, Anessa, is going to attack. This is the one with the dagger, as I mentioned. Oh boy, that is going to be a 7 to hit, which will not, obviously.
No.
Just in a panic, he swings it out at you. He misses. The spellcaster behind begins to gesture and move her hands again, and she puts her palm forward, and as she does, this shadowy knife, almost, it looks like it's made out of ice, comes out of her palm and comes streaking towards you. Up, same exact roll. They got a 3 too, so 3 plus their attack. So they're gonna miss you, obviously. So there is an ice dart that sprays across the web as it's stuck to the wall, and little shards of ice break off like an icicle dropping off of the roof of a nearby building. It slams all over and doesn't do any damage. And they're the only 2 that are left, so that's it for them. Malice. You have almost a foresight. The song tempo is changing. You can hear it. You can feel it. But you are also down here with 2 goblins remaining. What do you want to do?
It's like that scene in The Fifth Element with Gary Oldman. I know this music. So, he is going to cast Kinetic Jaunt, and he's going to burst into this dance, and he is going to use his movement to actually go through Anessa and rush and attack the one that shot the ice dart out at Anessa.
Right.
I am going to make a rapier attack as I'm passing through Anessa.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Actions. Oh. I overstepped that now, so it'll be hit 7. But I just keep moving. So.
Okay.
I'll just keep on moving.
That's okay. Yeah, you get up in front of the spellcaster, you swing out with the rapier, and you just happen to miss. The kinetic jaunt just makes you so fast, you just happen to miss in the moment. Lee, you start to hear the screaming of the children above. But you see your allies still in battle. What do you want to do?
I will probably help my friends and try to get as close as I can. I don't know if I can make it.
With a double move, it would put you directly behind this dead goblin. I'm sorry, no. With a double move, with a single move, you would get to here.
Okay.
So you would be able to maybe do a ranged attack or throw something or something of that nature.
Yeah, I'll grab a dagger from my boot and toss it, throw it at the goblin.
Love a good boot dagger.
It's 20 to hit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely will. You're going to go ahead and get your sneak attack damage because it is in 5-foot contact with Anessa.
Oh, wow. Okay. 6 plus 9, 15 points of damage.
As the dagger embeds itself in the back of this thing, it slumps down to the ground dead as well. Anessa, you see as it slumps down, where you're looking as it falls out of your vision, you see Lee lowering his arm. The 2 of you lock eyes for a moment. And Anessa, now you really fully hear the screaming of your children above.
There is not a second of hesitation. She is bolting forward past Lee and heading up the stairs.
Okay. The stairs, of course, are being right here. They lead up to the level above. I realize it's not shown on the map. It's fine. It's in the middle of the map, y'all. It's all good. It's right here. Yeah, where Anessa just went. You go sprinting up the stairs. There is still one more left. Because you're in front of it, Malice, it is going to try to react. Oh boy, it just swings out wildly at you, trying to shove you away, and just doesn't even make contact with you. So I'm not even gonna make you roll because it had such a low roll of an 8. So, alrighty, Malice, you're up next.
Malice stares her down and is just like, he says his verbal component of the spell, and pulls out just a hint of wool and blows it into her face and says, "Boogeyman." And when he does, he cause fear.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
So that's a wisdom save, 15.
19 on the die plus 3. That's a 22.
22. Okay, so she is not afraid, but
Okay.
Malice's kinetic jaunt is still in effect, y'all. So yeah, his movement speed is he's just dancing around her.
Yes. Moving, dancing, blurring. Absolutely. Lee, if you move again, you'll be standing right next to Malice. You can attack this last goblin, or you can follow Anessa upstairs towards the screaming. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna grab the other dagger from on top of my scabbard. There's a dagger. He'll grab that,
Okay.
and he'll whip that at the other goblin.
Nice. Still within range, so no disadvantage or anything.
Okay. 23 to hit.
Most certainly.
7. Do I get sneak attack as well? Because he's there.
Yep. Yep, because Malice moved up there. Yep.
Okay, so 7 plus 8 is 15.
Okay. You pull out the dagger, spin it, and in one fluid motion, let it loose. Malice, there is something that past your ear, and it embeds itself right into the eyeball of this goblin, and she just falls backwards, slumps on the ground, twitches once, and then doesn't move again. There was a silence that falls over this level, only cut by the discordant screaming of the children's chorus above.
And then
Anessa. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
as a bonus action, I'll dash towards Anessa, being triggered by these screams and getting some PTSD flashbacks from when he was in war.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Malice, you turn and you go to run and join into the chorus as well. Anessa, you make it to the top of the stairs, and as you make it to the top of the stairs, what you are met with will be a terrible sight indeed. You see that there are 10 figures that shamble about this level up here. They are moaning, groaning, half dragging themselves, half limping as they move along through the chambers here. Clearly, these are beings who are no longer alive. They have been reanimated with the dark magic of necromancy. As these undead move about, something very peculiar, very strange, very horrifying that you notice about them is that parts of them don't match the rest of their bodies. It's almost as if this one here has a different hand sewn on, that one there has a different nose sewn on, these two over here have different eyes. It's almost as if someone has taken foreign body parts and sewn them onto dead men and women to form these strange creatures. And as you get to the top of the stairs next to her, Lee, you notice that the one of them, as it slowly turns to regard the two of you, there is a crow, dead body, that flops out of its mouth and slams onto the floor. And as the undead turn and rush towards the three of you coming together at the top of the stairs, we're going to take a quick break.
Oh,
We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break, so please don't go anywhere. We're going to come back. We're going to fight some undead. We're going to save some kiddos, and we're going to see some really interesting stuff. As Doc Brown would say, when the shit hits 88 miles per hour, we're going to see some serious shit. Don't miss it. That was 2 shits in a row, 3. But anyway, thank you so much. We'll see you in 5 minutes, and we'll tell some more tales in the eternal night. And we are back for real this time. Thank you all so very much for coming back for part 2 of tonight's session. We have found our heroes. We're trying to gain a little bit of a rest, reflecting upon the past, but that reverie was broken by a villain seeking revenge, and now a darker fate, a darker villain still. Strange undead have invaded Anessa's home and are trying to harm the children. Strange undead that seem to have body parts sewn onto them. It's pretty dark indeed. So I think for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and let's roll a new initiative, because you guys are actually coming into this ready. You're not being caught caught unawares or asleep. So let's redo our initiative, shall we? So I will roll. The undead are going to go on in 16. So Malice, what do you have?
23. I rolled a 19 plus 4.
Beautiful. Lee?
23.
Ooh. And Anessa?
6.
I was waiting for you to say 23. Would have been so amazing. Lee and Malice, what are your dexterity scores?
My dex score, it is a +3 is the modifier, so it's a total of 16.
16 is the score?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's yours, Lee?
16.
Okay, fight to the death, the two of you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm happy to reroll.
Yeah, go ahead and reroll, gentlemen. Let's get too legit here.
25.
25?
Ooh, 7.
Okay, so Lee, you're going to be first. It's going to be Lee. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's going to be Lee, and then it's going to be Malice, Undead, and then Anessa. Okay. Lee, there at the top of the stairs, you look out over this death, this walking death that has come for you all and is currently threatening the children. You can see that some of these undead are nearby the doorways where the children's bedrooms are. That's where the screaming is coming from. Luckily, the children are not out here in the hallway where these undead are. It seems to be that they were hiding in their rooms. Something has happened to awaken them all, and they are all terrified. It brings you back a flash of memory of the cacophony that is the sounds of war. You flash back for a moment to the battleground, your men falling around you, General Alexei on the other side looking stoic, yet also wielding a blade. I'm sorry, wielding a mace in a way to bring down your men. But in this moment, what do? You are here in the present. The children need you. Your friends need you. This town needs you. So what do you do?
As Lee gets to the top of the stairs, he'll take a deep, calming breath and will use second wind
Oh, yeah, okay.
and heal up a bit.
That's a great call.
Oh,
Yes, you call upon your inner reserves. How much health do you get back?
Oof. 3 hit points.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you know what? That's 3 more than you had, so.
Yeah, it's fair enough. And then
What else do you do?
I'll run towards this one here and
Okay.
attack it if I can.
Yes, you run towards the nearest undead. Your sword is out and ready. And yeah, go ahead and attack. You are no longer poisoned. You have fought your way through that. So you're able to roll regularly now.
It's a natural 1 for 6.
Okay. You swing at the undead, and as you do, you are surprised that it moves faster and more agilely than a typical undead would. It puts its hand up, and your sword does hit the hand, but it rolls with it and deflects it and pulls. Just make another d20. There's no modifier. Just roll a d20 for me real quick.
It's a 2.
And as it hits your sword, it rips it free and pulls it out of your hand, and it clatters onto the ground behind it.
Left my daggers downstairs too. I didn't pick
You
them up.
But that is it. So Malice, you come up as well next to Anessa, and Anessa, in this moment, there is a slight bit of shock. You see she's looking, her eyes are wide. She cannot believe this has happened to her home. So you're able to react faster than she does. So Malice, what do you do in this moment?
Okay. Malice, I mean, his kinetic jaunt is still going.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, he moves a little bit faster, and he moves past Anessa, and he stands right about here with Lee.
Mhm.
And since it's in close proximity to Lee, or whatever, he is going to he is going to cast Bane on that creature. I think I can pick more than one creature at a time. I think it's a total
Yeah, I
of 3.
believe you could do a certain number. I believe it's 3.
Yeah.
If memory serves.
Yeah, 3 creatures. So I cast Bane on that one. I didn't fail to notice the one that was right across from the stairs, and I think I see one lurking in a hallway.
Yes, when you came up to the top of the stairs, you do see that, yes, there is 2 directly in front of you. The one is coming out of a hallway over here. There's the one that Lee just surged up to. You see now that you're moving closer. And then you did see and hear the discordant song of the one coming up behind Anessa.
Yes.
She doesn't seem to notice that right now in her moment of just being overwhelmed for a second. But yeah, you do see those 4. You also will see down the hallway a little bit, you'll see this one here who is clawing at the wall there, trying to get to around the wall to the door over on the side over here.
Oh, okay. Okay, the 3 in the closest proximity, the one right next to, or that will be right next to Anessa, the one that I can see right here will be baned, this one, and Lee's.
All right, so the one that Lee is currently fighting that just disarmed him, the one that's coming up behind Anessa, and then the one that's right there at the top of the stairs, this guy here.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Very good. Okay. And that's your turn. So then, with that, the undead, they continue to go about their weird, shambling movements. The one that is in front of Lee, who pulled his sword away, reaches forward. You see 2 different colored hands reaching towards you, as one is different than the other. It is going to try to just slam into you, basically. Not going to do it with a 4. So yeah, it tries to push against you, and it's just not able to make contact with you as you slip and slide a little bit, trying to bob and weave to get around to your sword. It's partially blocking the hallway, however. And so then the one that was behind Anessa comes out, tries to slam into her. Oh boy. Natural 20, but minus D4 for the Bane. You know what? I'm going to be fun. Let's have you roll that, David. Roll D4.
Oh, okay. Let's hope I roll good.
I would do it, but I'm going to have you roll it. Why not?
Oh, damn. But it's 2.
2. Okay, so that makes the nat 20 into an 18, which is still going to hit Anessa, but it's not a critical at least.
Yeah.
The slam damage just does 1d6. This guy doesn't have very good strength, so you're gonna take 2 points of damage, Anessa. As there was the zombie that kind of slams into the back of you. It's going to snap you out of this moment of panic and shock. It wasn't really so much as you faltering, just you looking and taking it all in, your anger rising. It's your turn, though. You are able to move now. What do you do?
These are zombies, which probably means that these fuckers are resistant to poison. So what I am going to do is, let me see how I can, there's no real good way for me to arrange that. So I am going to just shoot him in the face with a firebolt.
Okay, I like that.
Whapa.
Don't have to worry about me, sister. I am fireproof.
That's a 21
Resistant.
to hit.
21, yeah, 21 will hit it, yeah. Their armor class is an 8, so.
Oh, cool. Take
this one, anyway.
7 fire damage.
7 fire damage. Nice. Okay.
And I'm also, after I have attacked, I will probably take an opportunity attack from this, but I'm going to move myself to be essentially right behind Malice.
Sure. Yeah, you move over to there. This specific zombie is older. It's kind of partially decayed, so it doesn't really get an attack of opportunity. It doesn't really have reactions. So yeah, you move out of its grasp. It just kind of continues to claw and reach for you. And
fuck you.
Yeah, you get over there behind Malice. Yeah, that was it for your turn then. Lee,
That's
at the top.
Back to me? All
yes,
right.
I'm sorry. Yes, Lee, it is your turn.
Totally okay. I'm going to bonus action disengage and see if I can get around this zombie and pick up my sword. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll say you could do that. Yeah, so yeah, you move past him. The hallway, you just kind of shift around, move past. You scoop up the sword as you move. You turn. You now are rearmed because you're a rogue. That's a bonus action, so you do still get to make an attack if you want.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Lee's trying to think of this tactically, if he should stay behind, fight this one, or if he should keep moving forward and saving the kids from in the other room and leaving this group for his friends. But again, he's getting flashbacks of charging ahead and leaving his men behind, so I think he's going to turn around and swing at this one instead.
Okay.
The 8 hit?
And 8 does.
Oh my god.
Zombies don't have very good armor class.
No, fair enough. It's 11. Do I get my sneak attack because I'm fighting it alone?
You do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
11 plus 8 is 19 points of damage.
Okay. Your blade stabs into this thing's guts, pulls up, and part of its intestines spill out as it drops to the floor. It is dead again. And excellent. So, Malice, you see Lee drops one of these things.
Yes, I do. And I burst out into song, and I cast inspiration upon Lee, and say, and don't forget you, and turn to the chorus and cast inspiration on Anessa.
All right, you give them both bardic inspiration. That's a D6 still?
That's
correct?
a D6.
Okay. So both Lee and Anessa, you have a D6 you can add sometime within the next 10 minutes. And what else do you do?
Yeah, I am going to use my movement. The inspiration is bonus action, so I still have an action in addition to my movement. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, the kinetic giant's still moving his speed. I'm going to move over the dead zombie and into the room where the child is and cast invisibility upon it and say, hide.
Okay. Specifically, you're talking about this room right here that is right by Lee?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the undead that was there, what he was doing is he was trying to break through the door to get to the child, so the door is all like clawed and has partial holes in it, so you're able to get in there no problems. So, yeah, you move within there, and yeah, you cast invisibility on the child and tell them that. And with that being done, it is going to be the undead's turn. So the one who was here is dead, obviously. There is the one that tried... I'm sorry, the one that did hit Anessa before, moves around the side to close the distance between her with a weird groaning and shifting. There was another who comes up as well, so the two of them are going to attack you. The one has a 19, the other one has a 11, so the 11's going to miss, so the 19 will hit. We determined in the earlier fight, correct?
Yes, as the 19's about to hit, though, I am going to go ahead and use the shadowy path, which makes me resistant to all types of damage.
Oh, interesting. This is from your special subclass, correct? From the Warlock book? Your spirited warlock, spiritualist warlock?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. So what exactly does it... tell us in full what that ability does for those at home
Once
who
a
might be
day and
interested.
for one round, and using a reaction, I can partially merge with the shadows, obtaining resistance to all types of damage except for psychic damage for a single melee or remote attack.
Very cool. I love that. Alrighty. So that is just going to be, because of that, it's going to go down to 1.
Yeah!
So good job.
Fuck you!
Not that he needed it, but they're still baned. So.
You know what? That is true. You know what?
That is a -1.
It's going to be negative. Yeah, it's gonna be -1. Can I heal from that? No. Yeah, it makes contact with you, but yes, the shadows are moving, and it's very dark in here still because everybody was sleeping, so it's not brightly lit. It's dark, so the shadows are moving. It's almost like you are controlling them. It's almost like they're taking tangible form as spiritual type creatures, and figures are moving about to protect you in the dark here. There is the one that's in the hallway down here at the end of the hall stays. There is the one who was, I mentioned, clawing at the wall to try to get to the children, continues to do so. There are 3 others that are down the hall even further that are trying to, there's like a main room down here. They're trying to get to, it's like the main room where like all the older kids stay. 2 of them move away from there and start shambling down the hall. And the 3rd one stays there, pounding and clawing and scratching on the door, really adamant to get in there. So, Anessa.
They're in such a perfect little cone.
I guess they are. Luckily, your headquarters has a built-in funneling system with all these hallways. So
I know, right?
you thought of everything.
I'm gonna cast Thunderclap.
Well, they're all in the kids are all safe. They're in the rooms. So
Alrighty.
So they both of the zombies in front of me have to make a con save of 13.
Okay. Alrighty. One has a 16 on the die, the other one has an 8 on the die, so the one will fail.
Alright. Then that one is gonna take this. Takes max 6 thunder damage.
Ooh. Ooze a doozy. Okay. And the other one takes half, or?
No, it's just a save or suck.
Oh, it's saved for full. Okay, not a problem then.
That's I can do. Level 4, baby!
Yeah!
That's it.
Okay. Very good. I love it. Okay, cool. With that, back to the top of the round. Lee.
Lee will just run down the hallway, try to make his way to the zombie that's rapping against the other door, but we'll fight the ones that are blocking this way.
Yes, absolutely. All right, yeah. You go running down there, and yeah, go on attack, my friend.
22.
Definitely.
Six plus 6, 12 points of damage.
Okay. And you get to that one, you can, as you can see on the map here, you can pick. It could be the one in the hall, or it could be the one that is actually grinding on the wall / door type area, whichever one you want to choose.
Just the one that's in front of me. He'll just kind of shear his way through if possible.
Yeah, you cut through, and there is a big slice that falls off. You take its weird, not its own arm with it as it slops down to the ground. And then it is going to be Malice's turn.
Malice will come dancing out and take position next to Lee and cast protection from good and evil on Lee.
Beautiful.
And that should give him several advantages. Those types of creatures, the undead, will have disadvantage on attack rolls against him.
Nice.
And he can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Absolutely. Very cool. That's a very clutch spell in a situation like this.
Yes.
Excellent. So yes, as you continue to move and you continue to weave, you pull out notes of the song, the Dance Macabre, out of the night. You use it to channel and weave and funnel into your energy, and you use part of that spell to encase Lee with this protective magic, that as the zombie is trying to move and try to get at him, it just can't seem to have as much of a grasp through the notes that dance around in a weird crescendo of movement. It's going to then be the undead's turn. So yeah, that one directly in front is going to attack. Disadvantage. Oof. 9 will miss. The one that Lee just cut his arm off is going to attack you, Lee. Even lower, 6. The one who is over by Anessa, I'm sorry, there's 2 by Anessa. Jeez Louise, my dice decided to quit on us tonight. Well, that's good for you guys, I suppose. The one is going to, yeah, the one's going to roll a 7. The other one is going to roll a 16.
Yeah, that one hits.
Oh, okay. I thought your AC was 17. Slam damage. All right, you take 4 points of just regular bludgeoning damage as he slams into you, pushes you up against the wall for a second, but you're still in the fight. Yeah, there's that last one down the hall that's moving in towards you, Lee, and Malice. Anessa, in this moment, with the 2 still on top of you, how do you react, madam? What's your turn here?
Okay. I have to see how wide of a... Okay, 10 foot. Checking a thing. There's my measuring tool. You. Yes. I'm going... So Anessa's going to hold her palm out, and she's going to focus on the center of the floor, essentially, just about right around like like right around, and she's gonna cast Shatter.
Okay, I love it.
So give me some, all 3 of those boyos. Give me some con saves.
Okay.
I need 13s.
1 passes with an 18, 1 passes with a 14, and 1 fails with a 9.
All right, so they're 2 of them are going to take half of this.
Okay.
That was Garbo, so 7 damage altogether.
Okay. The one that, pardon me, the one that was already had its arm cut off by Lee, he shatters. Parts of his insides don't hold together any longer. Its ligaments or whatever just kind of give way, and its body falls into pieces on the ground around. The stitches inside of itself let loose and just let the body parts fall. The other 2 both do get hit. The floor cracks and shimmers underneath them from the shattering effect. Part of the wall ripples, and some of the wall, they're like wood slat walls with like a paint over it, and some of that paint flakes and falls off in big sheets, revealing the wood beneath as it has cracks and splinters in it as well. And it's going to then be Lee's turn. So Lee, the one undead is gone. The other one is still there.
Lee's just going to continue pushing forward, his combat training kind of sinking back in. It's almost second nature to him as he kind of swings his sword and kind of goes through different forms that he's remembered over his years. The old war general kind of reawakening within himself. He slowly starts to remember who he was and who he still is. And he'll take another swing as he kind of makes his way down the hall.
Definitely.
You're still under the effect. It's 10 minutes, so for protection.
Yeah, so you still have an inspiration if you need it. Yep.
That too.
So I'll use inspiration for 17 to hit.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
4 plus 9 for 13.
Okay. And without breaking stride, you slice that creature through the chest. It splits open and falls down to the ground, killed as well. You can continue to move if you want. If you move past the remaining one of the hall there, it might be able to attack you in turn. Well, actually, no. I would say that I was going to say it would be a surprise, but you would know, I think, by gauging how they're fighting, how they're moving. This one is a weaker one, like the one that was over by Nessa. I'll tell you, I guess, out of game, some slight meta knowledge, which is fine in this moment, that this one won't have an attack of opportunity if you want to move past it towards the one trying to get to the kids.
I could just use a bonus action to disengage and then dash, or
And that's true too.
move towards the other guy.
You know what? That's so true as well. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, so you go down to the end of the hall then with your disengage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm assuming you don't go all the way up in base contact with the guy. You probably just come up a little bit close like that, so you're about 10 feet away, basically.
Sure.
5 feet away, we'll say. So you're not in base contact with him. Cool. Righty, Malice. The discordant song of the dance macabre continues to play through the night, and you hear it, and you can feel it thrumming in your chest. A harpsichord of strange melodies that only you can hear in this moment.
Okay. Yeah, I am looking for my dance partners, so I am seeing these whiffs of apparitions all over the place. And as he's still engaged in this discordant dance and all that, he looks over to Anessa and he just kind of whirls. And, he can see her there with the two zombies. They're still pretty much intact, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He in one fluid motion just let loose his dagger, which is a very fine pearl-handled dagger, of course. Again, a gift from one of the families that his family has served. And I'm gonna make a ranged attack.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What was it?
I rolled a natural 1.
Natural 1. Which one were you aiming at specifically? The one that is in front of or behind Anessa?
In front of.
Okay. Please roll. Please roll a d20 for me.
I knew it. Oh, and I'll roll a virtual one so everybody can see.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh God, 12.
The dagger misses the zombie, and as it sings through the night, it also manages to miss Anessa as it sails past the two of them, directly between the two of them. Yeah, Anessa, you do jerk your head as it does almost hit you in the face, and it spirals through. It bounces down the stairs that you guys came up to start the fight off with.
Just slowly hearing that fall, looks past the zombie to Malice.
Whoopsie! He just continues as John.
Amazing. Alrighty, so then the undead, the two that are still in base contact with you, Anessa, they tried to attack in unison now. They're both just trying to grab onto you, trying to slam onto you. The higher of the two is going to be a 14, so no dice with that. And then the one who remains down the hall, a little bit in front of you, Malice, is going to stumble towards you, trying to slam into you with a natural 20.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna take.
Can I use a reaction?
Yeah, you have a bonus movement still. Yeah, you can.
Okay. With the reaction, can I distract it with silvery barbs? Would that work with this thing lunging at me or whatever?
Yes, because silver barbs just pretty much lets you affect it.
An attacker, yeah, in its roll,
okay.
And gives it disadvantage, and then advantage to somebody else.
Okay. Well, with the disadvantage, instead of a natural 20, it's going to roll a 5. So.
Okay, awesome.
So it comes in towards you, and as it's about to make contact and claw through your face, the discordant melody plays across the instrument hanging on your back. Without you playing it, there's a bling sound across the strings, and something shimmers across the front of you, and the zombie hits into that and bounces off. Who gets that advantage?
I'm going to throw that advantage to Nessa.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And then it's going to be still the undead. Oh, there was the one who was over here by the door. Lee, you see the one that's over here by the door? It is a little bit more aware than the other ones are. It looks like it's focused. It's trying to cut through and beat down the door. You can tell it's trying to get to something specifically in the room rather than all the other ones that came towards you guys when you attacked. This one is single-minded, focused on the door itself. I'll let you make it an insight roll because you're a veteran. I would say that you'd be able to kind of gauge this enemy's know-how and awareness of you.
It's a 9.
A 9, okay. Nothing except for that stoic nature of it just beating across the door. You're not sure what's going on with that, but it is your turn.
Yeah, I'll just go run up and engage it, and I'll try to take a swing at it.
Okay. As you get closer, it does look like it's a little bit newer, a little bit stronger than the other ones you fought so far.
17 to hit.
It will.
It's 10 plus 6 for 16.
Okay. Your sword bites into it, and almost as if you're not even there, it continues to beat and scratch and claw at the door, paying you no heed, even though there are parts of it that you cut into deeply. It has a huge gash on its back shoulder. You can see the bone of its shoulder blade exposed through. It doesn't stop. Malice,
Yes.
there's one in base contact with you as you feel the song play around the two of you. In your mind's eye, there is a graveyard on a hill where things dance in the night. What do you do?
I focus in on the tune of the song that is playing for this dance in the night on the hill. Yeah, and I mean, almost as, like in Game of Thrones, what they say with the thin blade, the Bravo sword, how it was almost blade dancing that they did. So, yeah, I'm going to attack the zombie that's in front of me.
Excellent.
Okay. He's a horrible swordsman. Good dancer, horrible swordsman. That was an 8 to hit. No, 8 hits, right?
It does, and 8 hits him exactly, yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, he's a terrible swordsman, but a great dancer.
He just manages to, almost by luck,
Yeah.
hit into him. What's the damage on that?
8 slashing damage. Piercing. Sorry, it's a rapier.
Piercing damage. That's okay. That is enough. That one also in the flourish, as you just managed to, actually, you miss it and you're flourishing and just continuing with the dance. You gesture in a balletic move, and your sword happens to hit it and knock it down, and it's defeated.
Gosh.
For those keeping track at home, these zombies are different than normal zombies, so therefore they don't have the typical once they fall below 0, they come back with that check. These zombies don't do that because they are different. So people are like, wait, what's going on with these zombies just falling? There's a reason.
Yeah, that zombie ability. What's that?
All right, cool, Malice. Yeah, that one continues to pound through the door. You would guess that by the end of next round, it'll be through the door, Lee. The other ones that are on Anessa are going to try to attack. The two coming in, they both roll 9s, which is going to be a total of 10 each.
I feel like I didn't get a turn at one point.
Did I skip somebody?
I think you skipped me.
Oh, then you know what? Let's take your turn right now. I apologize for that.
I'd like to have at least one chance to
You know what I
live.
think happened? I think when there was the reaction that got taken, I think I jumped ahead. So
Yeah,
I
I
apologize.
threw everything off, guys.
Yeah, so Anessa, please tell us what you do.
Shatter! Just, I don't have anything that hits more than one thing.
Okay,
Shatter!
okay. All right. You cast Shatter. It's going to get just the two in front of you? Because
Yes.
of its rain?
Yes.
Okay. They're making con saves?
Con saves.
Okay. They don't have a con monitor. It's going to be a 13 and a 6.
One fails, one succeeds.
Okay. I'll say the one directly in front of you, the one that's almost got hit with that knife. Is going to be the one that failed.
Okay. So max damage is 15 thunder damage. Reduced by half would be like 7.
Okay. So the one behind you is going to take that half. The one in front of, the one in front of you is going to take the full 15. So that one directly in front of you that almost got hit by the dagger, is going to shatter like that other one. Parts of it unpeel as the stitching that's holding it together breaks and snaps and pops, revealing different gruesome sights beneath as it drops lifeless to the floor. And it is then going to be... Okay, so that would have been Nessa. Then Lee would have went. So Lee.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take another swing and see if I can stop this person or this zombie from getting through the door.
Okay, you will have advantage on the attack because it's making no attempt to try to stop you or defend itself.
Could I aim for the hands specifically so it stops going towards the door?
Sure, yeah, that's more than fine. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
16 to hit.
Okay. You bring the sword down. What's the damage on that?
11 plus 9, so 20 points of damage.
Okay. You bring the sword down and you lob off both of its hands at the elbows. Its arms continue to move like it's trying to continue to claw at the door, but without any arms. And after just a moment, it realizes that something's about to happen, or something has happened, excuse me. And it's just kind of looking about confusedly, like it doesn't know what's going on. And yeah, that's that for that guy. You do notice that the doorway, had you not stopped him, it would have busted through the door. You can hear kids on the other side still screaming. You could tell that this is where, like, some of the older kids are. You can hear some familiar voices in there. One of them you notice, just kind of almost offhandedly, is Tyrell, the main boy that you guys saved from Yanis. And then it is going to be, because of this new revelation, as that zombie, it looks around for a minute and just eventually just kind of drops, almost like some sort of animating force within it just dissolves and goes away. As it drops, Malice, there's a weird, like as if somebody was playing a harpsichord and all of a sudden one of the strings broke. There's a little boing sound in the Dance Macabre, and there's a weird chill that you get in that moment. Something's different. But it is your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Oh. What to do?
So there are the 2 undead that remain over by Anessa.
Okay, there's 2 by Anessa. Okay.
Help me.
Well, one is right by her. One is in the room, like in the area, not directly next to her, but they're both in the area.
Okay. Sorry. Malice is going to continue. He's going to cast Kinetic Jaunt again.
Okay.
And it's going to rev up his speed by 10 feet.
Okay.
And that should put him in proximity on the other side of Anessa if he follows through with it and passes through her. Again, boy, she must hate that. And I'm gonna try to make a rapier piercing attack on this zombie.
All right.
So, no, Kinetic Jaunt. Is it a bonus action? Let me check. I'm sorry. I should know that. It's a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can make a physical attack after this, correct?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right, let's see. All right, with the rapier.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 8 points of piercing as I try to run it through.
You do. You run it through, you bury the rapier, and with a flourish, it falls defeated as well, leaving the one remaining one in the hall kind of behind you. it stumbles and staggers forward towards you guys, completely abandoning the children it was trying to scare and get to down the hallway there. It just comes in at you, Malice, swinging feebly with an 11. It just kind of tries to swing out and shove into you, but you are still dancing, still moving, and it does not make contact with you. Anessa, it's up to you. You know this is the last of these creatures in the hall. What do you do?
Chaos Bolt at first level.
All right, baby, here we go.
Yeet. That would be a 17 to hit.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna make it force damage. Roll for a total of 15 damage. If it's not dead from that, I'm about to also hit it with my Vessel of Souls.
Vessel of Souls, that guy.
Beep, beep, D6, roll. There's an extra 2 damage on that.
The 2 was enough.
Hey!
Yeah, so you do the Chaos Bolt slams into that guy, and he drops as well. And for now, the undead that have attacked your home, scared your family, are defeated. Death has touched you in the past, Anessa. It's what first awoke the abilities within you, as you know. And in this moment, though, you know that you saved your kids from such a fate. So there is a little bit of a thankfulness to that. But the combat has ended, and you all are able to now take a deep breath, get your bearings about yourselves. The kids continue to be upset for a moment until you all go around, you start calming them down, letting them know that the threat is over, and everything starts to get a little bit more calm. And in this aftermath moment, there is you see that the children are all starting to come out, look around. You see that Amaya comes out, and she comes up behind you all. She goes, "I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to warn you guys in time. I didn't know that they were coming. I'm sorry."
Like takes Amaya's like little cheeks and just, "It's okay. We're fine. Everything is okay."
Okay.
Are all of you safe?
I'll go do a head count and make sure everybody's okay. Okay. Raven children, let's line up. Let's make sure. And she goes about a business of she gets everybody. In their rooms. They line up in a certain manner. She starts going around. And during this time, Lee, you're standing there by this undead whose arms you lopped off. That smashed and broken door gets a familiar face that looks out. Tyrell sees the thing on the floor, looks up, locks his gaze with yours. He said if we ever left, he would send something after us. He said we wouldn't be able to get away. He said we were his, and that Silk would make sure that we would never be able to leave. I'm so sorry. I brought this on everyone.
No, it's not your fault. You're safe here. Anessa will protect you. It's okay.
Anessa, as like an emphasis, steps on one of the hands of the thing and just crunches the bones down. All right.
That man is gone. You made sure of it.
Malice leans in and whispers to Anessa, says something still isn't right. It doesn't feel right.
You feel that too?
The song feels wrong. It's in the wrong key.
Something I'm curious about, and I want to look at one of the bodies. I want to find one of the parts of them that's mismatched.
Okay. It doesn't really matter which one you're by. Go ahead and do a investigation check, just in general, to see what level of know-how you gain off of what you're trying to see here.
I'm gonna do a thing. I keep forgetting I have a thing, and I want to use it once.
Use your things. Here we go.
I'm gonna use my thing. Oh no, can't use it because I don't lack proficiency in it. Dang it! So that's an 8.
8. Okay. Yeah, you find one of the mismatched body parts. Actually, the hands that this undead was using to claw through the door are different than the rest of its body.
Take the arm, grab the hand. So I have a question. Were any of the bodies that were missing hands?
Yeah, there was a couple of them. Most
Yeah, I'm
notably,
missing two.
the most recent victim was missing both of his hands and both of his feet.
The tanner was missing his hands and feet.
I don't know if this would have met with the investigation check, but I want to check the hand that I'm holding to see if, like, is this the calloused hand of a tanner?
I would say that's part of the same investigation skill. You
Yeah.
can't quite tell. Also, you can tell it's a human hand.
Yep. I'm going to... It's going to be gross. Open my components bag and pop the hand in there. Save that for a moment.
Okay.
It becomes
Save that for
thing
further
later.
Further
you take-
investigation is warranted.
You take the hand. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
take
we
the
could
hand.
take all the hands and go back to the morgue. See if they fit. I'll take the hands off the ones that I lopped off.
Okay.
I want to head back over to where you are, Lee, and just like knock on the door that's broken. Tyrell, who or what is Silk?
I'm not. We're not supposed to talk about her. We're not supposed to talk about her.
Was that because of your former torturer, or what, Enos?
He looks at you. Make a persuasion roll for me.
Come on, I have a +5 in this. That's a 19. Let's go.
Tyrell looks at you, and he can tell from your steady gaze, he can tell from the way that you've acted with him before that you are an ally, you are a friend, you are someone who's going to protect him. And in this moment, you see he takes a deep breath. She's a woman that would come to the shop sometimes. Yanis, I will not be afraid anymore. Yanis was a member of a cult. They worshipped someone, not something, not one of the gods, like a typical cult. They worshipped someone, some man. I don't know his name. They called him the Tyrant, but he was a man. I know this. They said that in the past he destroyed a great army, that he was powerful, and that he had magic that the world had forgotten because he died before the fall of the sun. This man, the Tyrant, the cult thinks that if he returns, so will the sun. But if the cult can control this man, control the sun, use his power, they can control the sun. They can control the land. And Silk, and you see he's like on the verge of tears. She's the worst of them. She's the leader here. She uses her powers to... She makes those things. And he points to the undead. She has a bunch of them in her hideout. I saw them once. When she came, she was very cross with Yanis. He had forgotten something. I'm trying to remember the... Yeah, they called him a... They said it was a butcher. They forgot something from the butcher. And Yanis said he would make sure that he got it from the next person. I don't know what. I'm assuming there was money, or something that they were owed. I don't know, but she. I used to have a pet cat, and she. And he just looks at the undead on the ground, and he just trails off.
She places her forehead against his. You're safe here. And Silk is never going to hurt you or anyone else again.
You can't stop her. Other people have tried. Look, and he points to the undead again.
And on cue, don't mean to interrupt. Malice looks for a hand. Just see if he can find one.
Yeah, there's a random hand nearby, sure.
Okay, he'll pick it up and he'll look at it and he'll do an investigation check.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And looking to see where manacles would have been. I want to see if there's any of those runes burned
Same
or...
ones I have.
Yeah, same ones Anessa has.
Interesting.
So, roll an investigation check.
Mm-hmm. And 7.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any sort of runes. You do see that this hand, it's got desiccation and markings on it just from being decayed. So you, if there was some sort of tattoo or scars or anything on it, you wouldn't be able to make it out with how just.
Yeah. No, I was
Gross.
specifically looking for the binding wound,
Yeah, you don't see
runes that were on Anessa's shackles.
Yeah, you don't see anything like that.
Between me and that whirling, handsome dervish of destruction, Lee over there, and the most charming bard that's able to do incredible things I've ever met, I'm fairly certain that someone that can looks at the corpses barely constitute what would count as necromancy isn't going to be able to stop us.
She's not alone. There's others in the cult too. And one of them, he wears, well, he's one of the guards here. He wears one of their uniforms. I haven't seen his face. They all wear masks when they're meeting, but he wears one of the uniforms.
I think that we should have a discussion with our illustrious guard captain.
I agree.
Alexi.
Tyrell, you're safe here. We'll clean up. Get some rest when you can. Okay?
Okay.
A little
Okay.
kiss on the forehead. Kicks one of the bodies aside. So, to Alexi then.
It seems that's where the music is taking us.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys take some time to clean up everything. You get the bodies moved out of the way. I mean, you can't clean up everything. I mean, this is like hours and probably realistically days worth of cleaning up. That's how these things go. But you manage to get the bodies out of there, get the children completely calm and safe again. Some of them fall back asleep in the calm now. Some of them stay up. Some of them, the older kids, all help you guys. Maya helps. As you guys all finish up, as said before, you are rested and everything. If you want to take a short rest during the time that you're cleaning up, you can do that. Get rejuvenated even more if you want to be at full strength, so to speak. Otherwise, you guys can head right out. Was there anything specifically you guys wanted to do to prepare further, or are you guys just getting ready to go as soon as you're ready?
I guess go as soon as we're ready. The crow that the zombie spit out, was that one of the girl's familiars?
In the aftermath of the fight, yes, Moon does come in, and it is her familiar.
No. I guess familiars work different in Lanata. they don't just burst into fairy dust.
Right.
You know?
Vanessa will sit beside Moon for a little while and let her have a good cry if she needs it.
Yeah.
Lee will walk around, collect his daggers, kind of having his body remember who he was before. Slowly, the adrenaline and the thrill of battle kind of comes back to him a little bit. And he kind of goes back to his room in quiet contemplation.
Does Moon, she summoned her familiar, right?
Mhm.
Is that correct? So she knows the spell, correct?
Yeah, she'll be able to get a new one, sure, but
Yeah. Malice takes out a very nice silk kerchief, and in it has the ivory and the incense that she would need to summon another familiar.
okay. She smiles and thanks you, even though she's upset still. There's, tears and everything.
Sure.
I mean, this is a little kid, so I mean, although she can summon a new familiar, to her, that familiar is gone. So it is like,
Yeah.
Giving up a pet, flushing your
Right.
goldfish, as it were. So it's a sad moment for her. And she tells you, thank you. And that's a nice moment that you have with her. There is a couple of plucks of music that dance a little bit, a lighter melody that welcomes this touching moment that the two of you have.
And
oh, go ahead.
oh no, and again, I mean, he feels soothed by the melody that plays from this moment. So
Absolutely. And you all get ready to leave again. And when you all get ready to leave, Lee, you emerge from your room, and do you look any different? Do you do anything that we should be aware of? I know you had some pressing things on your mind, some things that you made mention of before earlier tonight. Which man walks out of this room? The broken man who makes his way by living by this blade, or the man who once commanded soldiers to a greater purpose?
So, as this person leaves the room, you see Lee in his old, sturdy but resplendent breastplate. He has his open-fronted helm on, his reinforced boots, and the old war General Helios Cuthbert emerges from the room, shining in silver armor.
Excellent. And it looks good on him. He definitely looks like he is something that he was missing. He's found again. So the three of you leave. You make your way over to the barracks in the northern section of the city that you were at just yesterday. It seems like all of this has happened over a course of weeks, but it's really just been half a day, realistically. Not even 24 hours since all this crazy began. So you make your way over to the barracks, and when you make your way across the city, at various intervals, you come across those strange masked figures, those guardsmen who patrol silently across the city, keeping watch over everyone and everything. As you walk, you do notice that every time you pass them, they don't break stride, they don't make comment, they don't even acknowledge you, other than those silent gazes of their heads slowly turning to watch you all walk by. And when you return back to the barracks area, you actually come upon, you see that small safe house that they all gave you to stay in because you were under their protection. You do see Zakara storms out of the front of it. There you are. We were worried that something had befallen you. I left you back at that morgue, and you never returned. Are all of you all right, or should I be worried?
Just as I don't know if they want this to be completely true, but Nessa has 2 hit points, so she's just like, just trailing out of her mouth. Like,
She blinks.
I'm fine.
Malice is just like, oh, let me get that for you.
But no, she's gonna open up the components pack and then pull out one of the hands, like the hand that she has, and just toss it onto the ground.
Zakara stops and she looks down. What is this?
Accordingly, somebody named Silk decided that our escapades into this investigation and where it took us meant that my home should have been targeted. So they sent some shambling corpses over there to dispose of us. Didn't work out so well for the corpses, but we got some interesting information that we'd love to discuss.
This is precisely why we wanted you here under our protection, so that something like this did not happen. I never should have left you alone in that morgue with that body. It's gone missing, you know. Did you have something to do with that too?
Yes, because I lug around bodies all the time in my components bag.
Hear it well,
You do have a hand, right?
This is not a moment for levity. There have been 9 people killed under my watch here in the city, and I do not take it lightly that this continues to happen. The 3 of you, as she then notices Lee with his armor, and she kind of just looks him up and down for a second. The 3 of you are mucking about in things that, quite frankly, you shouldn't be, but this is the way of it. Alexei thought that you were the best for the job. He asked me and tasked me to find people to help, but it's what it is. With that being said, I need your honesty. Did you have anything to do with this?
You have to be more specific. I mean, there was a lot of shit that went down tonight.
The body that disappeared, did you have something to do with that?
Well,
No, we left the morgue and your men went in.
yeah.
My men went in.
We were there for an hour.
They said when they went in, they did not see you. They said you had left. So you were there for an hour, and my men did not go in.
Just say we were impartial observers at that point.
Do we want to continue having this? It's a delightful conversation. Do you want to have this still outside? Or do you want to go inside?
We can go inside. Should I be taking you in chains, or are you able to walk on your own volition?
There's a moment of just like fear and anger. I can walk.
Well, there is that. Let us
Walks
go.
by, scoops up the hand, shoulder checks Zakara as she moves.
Okay. Yeah, you move past and you go in. Do the other 2 of you follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Malice does.
Lee?
Yeah, we'll go in.
Okay. So as the 3 of you go in, Zakara waits for a moment, then steps in behind you all, and as she follows you in, you do notice that she does not draw her longsword, but she has her hand upon it, like she is prepared to use it if she needs to. You all enter within the same way you did before. You go in through the front doors, which now are being opened by other members of the guards here, in preparations for the day. You go within, you move across that large foyer area into the inner chamber where Alexei typically would be sitting. And when you enter in this time, you find the man is sitting at his desk as he was previously, but now instead of in his full regalia and with air about him, he is he's dressed. He's not like in the small clothes or anything like that, but he's not wearing his uniform properly. He is actually got the coat on, but it's hanging open, and you see he's actually eating. He's got a fork and a knife, and he's going at some eggs and some sausages of some sort. Forgive me. And he takes a napkin and puts it at his face. I trust that you've been found then. Is everything all right with you all? You disappeared. We were quite worried. I had several of my guardsmen looking across the city for you. We could not find you. I had feared the worst.
Just looking at the other two, like... So, do we say the thing? Okay, so we followed a lead from something that was on the corpse, which led us to a glass worker. What was that asshole's name? Malice, you're good with names.
Giannis was his name.
Thank you.
Well,
Giannis.
I don't know. I don't remember his true name, but yeah.
Yeah. Ended up coming across Giannis, asked him, why such a remarkable piece of glasswork was on the body of a tanner who definitely couldn't afford it. Wasn't very forthright with his answers, decided to try to kill us. Didn't work out too well. Then he got killed by someone else, who I'm going to assume was probably Silk. We now know that there's a cult led by someone named Silk, who's been doing this to bring back somebody by the name of the Tyrant, which these are very on-the-nose names, mind you, for a cult. And last little bit of information here, apparently one of your guards is in that same cult.
One of my men is in a cult worshiping someone called the Tyrant.
Yes.
What do we know of this, Sakara? This time, she's been standing behind you guys. She's actually been standing in the doorway. And as you turn, the three of you see that her countenance, this very stern, very sturdy look that she always has on her face, is even darker in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, well, to be completely honest, Alexei, this was bound to come out sooner or later, so it might as well be now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He looks at her. What are you saying? Do you know who this is? This guardsman? She goes, yes, you ignorant dolt. It is I. I have been working against your investigations this entire time. Silk will have her necessary components. The Tyrant will return. And when he bathes near with the power that was robbed of him by the city of 7 runes, you all will wish that you had been prominent enough to feel his grace beforehand.
That's adorable. You are quite adorable. I'm gonna cast Charm Person on her.
Okay.
I don't think this will work, but I think it'll be funny.
That is a wisdom save?
Yeah.
Charisma, I think.
Is it charisma?
Nope, it is a wisdom.
It is Wiz. Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah, it is. I see it.
Okay. 21.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Absolutely succeeded.
Her one eyebrow goes up slightly. Did you really think that was going to work against me?
No, it felt like good to try it. I don't want to hurt you. I don't. Because despite the whole rough exterior and tough guardsman attitude and I'm an evil cult bitch persona, you're just adorable, really. Because this is how we've killed more people in 2 days than I think you've ever seen get arrested here in the city being a guardsman.
Miss
You're not
Gethsemane,
a
you
threat
have
to
gotten
me.
this all backwards. Isn't it supposed to be according to the novels and the different stories of old? Isn't it supposed to be the evil wizard who's supposed to do the monologuing, not some preppy girl with delusions of grandeur thinking she owns this city? Silk is fully aware of what you do with those children, how you use them to spy and gather knowledge. She is not best pleased, and neither will be the tyrant. You can don old armors of wars past, you can dance a merry jig of death, and you can perhaps even strike out at me, but know this. Silk will destroy all 3 of you, and there will be nothing that you can do about it. So, and she pulls her sword out. Shall we settle this then? And it's then that you notice that there is sounds behind her. Guardsmen approaching. Oh, now I really am cute, aren't I? Because I brought an entire battalion with me. What did all of you bring? And Alexi at his desk is like, what is the meaning of this? Zakara, you have been like a daughter to me. What is this? She goes, shut up, you old fool. And he stops, and the color drains from his face for a moment.
That's an interesting question. What did we bring? Malice here is one of the greatest bards to ever grace our lands. Lee is, as far as I'm concerned, a martial match to any of the forgotten gods that we have ever come across. And me, I may be a girl with delusions of grandeur, but I did bring something of my own. And she lifts her hand up and snaps her fingers and casts darkness. Fear.
Excellent. And on that last word, there is in fact fear that shudders through the 3 of you. Because if you recall in the first session, you all had to roll a secret roll to determine how strong your pact was with Alexi. And so in this moment, it's going to be both Lee and Malice that take 8 points of damage, psychic damage.
Oh.
As the fear has something else within it. The creeping death finds its home in the darkness. Not that you would know that, but as there is the familiar sound of a longsword beginning to cut through the dark, much like it did when it cut down the mortician, the fear is met against you as well. And as Zakara moves in, her Blackguard training allowing her to partially see in the dark, we will conclude the tale next week. Will the heroes be able to defeat this evil traitor amongst the guards? And will they seek out and defeat Silk before her nefarious purposes happen? Well, we will find out next week in another tale of Notte Eterna. So thank you all so very much for watching. This was another great time. The 3 of you guys, thanks so much for your role play. Awesome, awesome stuff. I love delving into character backstories like this and all these cool emotional moments. Lee with this cool hero moment coming out with his armor on. Chef's kiss. Awesome, awesome stuff. So this was great. Next week will be the conclusion of this arc, but not the end of Notte Eterna, but we'll talk about that more next week. And so for now, though, let's go around and remind everybody who we are, where you guys can be found in case they want to see you besides here on Notte Eterna for this arc. So Andrew, let's start off with you, my friend. Remind us who you are and where you can be found out there on the internets.
Yeah, I'm Andrew. Thanks for having me. I'm a human person. I played Lee, or now Helios Cuthbert, a human rogue / fighter. You can find me on my socials, Andrew Nean RPG, across all socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I make really silly memes on there, so give me a follow.
Yeah, they're good. You should definitely give them a follow.
Oh,
Thank you, Andrew. I love your work tonight. Thank you so much for being here again. I can't wait to play with you again next week, my friend. I wish we could just keep on playing, keep on trucking, but alas, we must take a break. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Next, of course, is David, making our way around the horn. Hello, David. Thank you so very much. Remind everybody where you can be found out there, because you don't just do work here. In fact, you've got something coming up tomorrow, I believe. So where can we find you?
Well, the thing about that, I don't think it's tomorrow.
Well, not tomorrow. Okay.
But otherwise, yes, it would have been tomorrow. Hi, I'm David. Tonight I played Malice, the Dark Lord of the Dance. When I'm not here, I'm in Murder Hobo land. I mean, Murder Hobo Incorporated. Kevin is my partner in crime in that. And otherwise you can follow me in the Twitterverse as Bardic AF, or at the up and coming site Inspired Champions at Inspired Champs. And and I can't wait for our next session, man. This was great. I had a great time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, look forward to it. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. And finally, of course, Javante, bring it home for us, brother. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, because you're up to a lot of stuff right now, as usual.
Howdy, everyone. I'm Javante, a resident TTRPG goblin. I do a bunch of things. You can catch me normally on Initiative Order. We're on a slight break on both of these games, but I'm in our Power Rangers games on opposing Mondays as the Black Ranger, Dior, the Black Arcanite Ranger. On Wednesdays, I DM a Dante's Inferno game of D&D, which is awesome. I'm working with a bunch of my close friends to make an entire homebrew world of D&D called, currently named Of Rose and Moon, which is based around my mom's D&D world, hence the naming for characters. I am super excited for that. I have some subclass stuff that I can't wait to share with you all. Next Saturday, I am in a D&D tournament against a bunch of other creators, including one that I have been dying to play a game with, so I'm super excited for that. I have so many things lined up. I have also a YouTube channel that's forming, and when the video is ready to be released, I will give some information on that, but it is the first of my delving into doing ASMR style videos for some things. So that's also happening. So I am very busy again, which I like.
I love it. I love it. I love how you guys are always up to stuff. So cool. So cool. Javante, thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure. This was no exception. And thank you all at home for watching. As usual, I am Kevin, host of the channel here, and your Dungeon Master for this game, and I will be the Dungeon Master for all of Notte Eterna and our multi-part story. Please join us next week for another installment. Before we go, however, I want to take a moment to thank Ali Rebelli for publishing the game and letting us play it here on the channel, and also Jason Forbes for his creation. I want to thank the 3 players here. I want to thank Tabletop Audio for the amazing tunes you heard while we were fighting, exploring, and possibly even growing as people. I want to thank Neutral Party for the cool battle map that we got to play. Miko, I want to thank you for being off screen, handling all the cool, awesome, amazing video stuff that we do here. He makes all the overlays and all the art you see and all the really cool stuff, and also has a couple of rules things that he helps us, reminds us, which have been very clutch and on point. So thank you to him. And again, thank you all at home. I can't wait to see you all again next week. Please, in the meantime, take care of yourselves, and may the moon always smile upon you. We're going to rate our friends Magia RPG, so be sure to stay tuned because they got some awesome stuff. So thank you so much, everybody. Have an excellent night.